going on, everybody? This is the M&P 1522. It is a 22 long rifle AR-15 made by Smith & Wesson. You are going to get a polymer receiver set. You're going to get the nice A2, and then a proprietary handguard up front here. Overall, it's not the most spec'd out AR on the market. It does come in a little bit steeper of a price point than I would want it to for a 22 when you can get a CMMG conversion kit for in the 150 mark. You can pick this up for the 500, 550 mark. I'm sure you can find it cheaper on deals, but MSRP on these is about $559. Let's move in and let's talk performance of this rifle here. So in terms of trigger performance, you have a great trigger on this thing. Standard mil spec, maybe a little bit lighter. Good positive reset. You can run the trigger pretty quickly if it wasn't 30 freaking degrees today when it was 65 yesterday. Okay. This is a 22, so you're wondering, why would anybody buy a 22 AR-15? Well, this thing can be a great hunting rifle if you're allowed to hunt with semi-auto in your state. It's also a great training rifle. The price of 5.56 these days is getting a bit out of hand. You're talking upwards in the 50 to 70 cents a round, and then even more when you're talking defensive rounds. So it is expensive to shoot your AR-15. It is not expensive to shoot 22. You can pick up a ton of rounds of 22 and get a lot of training with drills such as, you know, going from a low ready or a high ready, or even transitioning from target to target. And you're gonna be able to learn those skills and then apply those skills over to your 5.56 AR. The only skill sets that you're not really gonna be gaining here is recoil management. When it comes to recoil on this thing, there is absolutely no recoil. It kind of feels like shooting an airsoft gun or a paintball gun. There's nothing going on. The gun's big enough that it doesn't have any felt recoil, but you still can have a really good time with it. It's a lot of fun. You can burn rounds downrange, and it doesn't cost you a lot of money. So overall, that's a pro for me. The positives of this rifle are the fact that it is really inexpensive to shoot. It's very reliable. I ran 300 rounds of some cheap ammo through it today, and it did fantastic with it. This ammo jams up in my 10-22. This ammo sometimes jams up in my TX-22, but it had no problem cycling through this thing. In terms of loading the magazine, it is a breeze. They give you these nice little pull down tabs over here, so you can just pull it down and feed and go. It won't be too hard for somebody who may not have the strongest hands, or maybe your thumbs aren't really, you know, as tactile as they used to be. Having those pull down levers really helps with loading the magazine. You get okay furniture. The handguard's pretty good. It feels similar to your, you know, standard M-LOK handguards. The A2 stock and the A2 grip gotta go. They gotta get out of here. They're not that good. I'm not a big fan. Let's talk a little bit about some cons with the rifle. Some of the biggest cons that I have with it are the fact that it's a polymer receiver set. It's not a big deal. It's gonna work fine. It's only 22, but you can't really be as rough as you could with a metal rifle here or a metal receiver set. But that being said, you're probably not gonna be getting real rambunctious with this thing in training. It's more just getting you familiar with transitioning between targets, pulling the trigger smoothly, manual of arms in terms of safety, in terms of maybe sort of reloading. The only problem that I have with training this for reloading is, as you can see, the magazine's not square at the back here, so it doesn't quite feed the same as your AR-15 magazines, but it's still pretty close to the point where you're going to be getting the same training feel. It just kind of rocks in a little bit more than your AR would. But at the end of the day, that minor difference probably isn't going to hurt your training that much. Really, the only part that isn't going to train that good is that recoil. Another con that I have with the rifle is the price point that it comes in at. You're talking $550 for a polymer receiver set AR-15 with a 22 conversion kit, pretty much. Now, some advantages that this has to the much cheaper CMMG conversion kit is you don't have to gunk up your regular AR-15 to run this, but it is gonna cost you a premium to not do that. Now, if you are gonna run something like the CMMG, you may wanna get a dedicated 22 barrel and just completely delete the gas system so you're not clogging up your gas system or causing other problems for your actual 5.56 shooting experience. This is a direct blowback system, which with a 22 is gonna work fine. Anything is going to work fine with 22. There's literally no recoil, especially when it's in something this big, this heavy, and this easy to control. But the gunk up factor with the 22 conversion kits is a real thing, and they don't always run that reliable. The pro here is that you are going to have a reliable 22 AR. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with the M&P 1522 here. Overall, it's pretty easy to use, pretty fun to shoot, and it's got no recoil whatsoever. So even if you wanted to take this out to teach your kids how to shoot, or somebody who's really kind of just afraid of a firearm, start them on this. Start them on a PCC. Start them on something like this though, where there's literally no recoil. Kind of feels like you're shooting a gas blowback airsoft gun. There's not a whole lot going on there. You're kind of confused on your first shot if you've shot anything bigger that day, because you're just like expecting something and then nothing happens. It's almost like the perfect AR-15 dry fire tool. You get some live feedback, you get to see where you're hitting on target, and this thing is really accurate, especially considering the type of ammo we were using today. We were using some Blazer CCI 22, which isn't, by far, is not the worst stuff out there, but it's just, you know, some regular lead nose, round nose stuff. It's nothing fancy, not a hunting round or anything fancy that has better accuracy. Just standard, you know, lead nose or round lead nose 22. So I was impressed by the accuracy. We shot it back to about 35 yards, and it was hitting within the A zone every time, even at some rapid fire. I'm looking over there at the target now. We were able to produce about a 1-inch or sub 1-inch group at 35 yards, taking it somewhat slow, but not stabilizing in any way. And for me, I'm gonna be happy with that group every time. It's something fun you can shoot. It's something cheap you can shoot. And in 2025, with ammo prices being this frickin' ridiculous, you can't go wrong with picking up a 22 AR to train with. Let me know what you think down below. Would you spend the money to get the M&P? Would you get the 22 conversion kit from CMMG? Or are you just not a fan of 22 ARs at all, and you think that there's no place for them? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching.